So my roommate was going to throw away this shirt just because it's a little bit stained, and I said, hell no, I can paint on this. So that's what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna be using acrylic paint because I don't have any paint specifically for clothes, which I know you're supposed to use, but I mean, he was gonna throw it away anyway, so it's probably not gonna last long. So I got out my acrylic paint, then I had to decide on a colour scheme and a design idea. After scrolling through Instagram for a little bit, I found this picture that had on the words on it, "My existence isn't about how attractive you find me," which I thought was fucking amazing. All of the TikToks that I've been seeing recently have been about this kind of ideology, and it was perfect. I loved it. So I decided to go with that. As for the colour scheme, I decided to go with my favourite colour, which is purple. I know, purple's my favourite colour, don't judge me. So the design was going to be the words written on the back of the shirt with a couple of kind of abstract flowers, and then the collar and the, what are they called? The bits at the end of the sleeve. They are going to be purple. So to start everything off, I decided to go with the collar first and just started slapping some purple acrylic paint on there, not really knowing what I'm doing. I soon discovered that the texture and the fabric and the acrylic paint mix so differently than what I thought they were going to do, especially when there is water added. It completely seeps through, and I did not realize this until right at the end. The fabric is just such a new material for me to work with, because I've never ever even touched any kind of clothing to put paint on or anything like that. So while I was doing the collar, I had to tape off a little bit that goes onto the main shirt because I didn't want there to be any leakage over onto the main shirt. I wanted it to just be the collar. I have a straight line there, although I did use the tape that wasn't the best for the situation. Again, I really have no idea what I'm doing. If any of you actually know how to design or put on a certain type of paint onto clothing, please give me some tips in the comment, because I really, I do not, I was winging it. I have no idea what I'm doing, although it was a lot of fun. Now, this sentence, "My existence is not about how attractive you find me," I thought was perfect to be going on a piece of clothing, because the way that some people talk about, especially women, obviously it does happen to men as well, how you get objectified and catcalled on the street, and even sexually harassed or verbally harassed, just because of what you're wearing or what your body looks like. The way that some people think is similar to them assuming that the only reason that you exist, the only reason that you are in this world, is to please them and make them think that you are attractive. So if you are wearing or you have a certain body type that they do not find attractive, that is somehow offensive to them. Which, of course, people with actual logic and aren't super misogynistic know that this is ridiculous, but it is actually surprising how many people, especially men, think this way. Most of the time, not knowing that they think this way. It just comes so naturally to them, probably because of who they are surrounded by, or the situations that they are put into. This is the first thing that comes to their mind, that if that person is not attractive to them personally, then they are not attractive and they have no reason to be here. So now I have started adding in the words on the back of the shirt. I first went over and taped down around the back to try and straighten it out so that I could get an even layer and even words so it doesn't get all like messed up in different weird angles and stuff. Because I had the purple paint already made, my palette, I went over with the words that I was going to be doing in purple, which was every second word, and then I decided I was going to do the others in black, so it's kind of a mix match situation. Once I had put in all of the words, which wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, but they did bleed quite a lot. They kind of spread out after I'd already put it down. I think that was because of the water. It just kind of soaked into it and then just kept kind of spreading, which was a little weird and new for me. But yeah, after I had put them down, I went over with a couple of areas that I wanted to put flowers, and I tried to make little petals with the paint, but again they were like really bleeding out quite a lot. So I decided that after I had finished that, I was going to go over them in pen and just do some details over top of it. No matter how many times a man tells you he respects women, if he catcalls, he does not. It's as simple as that. If he catcalls now, if he's ever catcalled and then has stopped because he's realized how horrible it is, then good for him. That is amazing. But if he is sitting there and telling you how much he respects women and how much he treats them right, and he is such a feminist, but he still catcalls, he's a lying piece of shit. Catcalling is one of the ways that men seem to think that we only exist in this world to make them happy, to please their eyes, I suppose. It is such a weird thing, it's such a weird situation, because I can't even imagine being in their place and thinking the way that they think, that it's okay to do that when it absolutely is completely the opposite. If you have any catcalling stories or have ever been catcalled, put down your story in the comments, because I would absolutely love to hear it and see how many of you have actually been through this, because I have definitely been catcalled. But the interesting thing about that is the majority of the times I have ever been catcalled was when I was underage, and it slowed down a huge amount once I was actually an adult, which is a completely other topic that is extremely worrying.
Alright, so this is all done, so I'm going to set it aside to dry, and then we'll come back to finish the details of like the flowers and things. Okay, it's all dry. So now I'm going to add some details with pen over here with the flowers, and then it should be all done.
So going over the areas that I wanted to be flowers but kind of turned out just like blobs, I really tried to add detail with the pen to make it obvious they are actually flowers, because they did spread out a lot more than I thought they were going to. Also, I had accidentally put a bunch of little specks here and there. There were a couple of areas where I wanted to put little hearts, but they had spread out as well, so I went over all of those to kind of, you know, make them a bit more detailed, make it obvious they are hearts, and then make it obvious they are flowers. And then it's basically all finished. I was just doing the extra details here.
And this is the finished piece. obviously there are a few things that I kind of messed up on. The spots at the front on both sides are from the back because I didn't realize that I had to put something in between them to stop them bleeding through. That was very stupid of me. Also, the cuffs around here, which I taped off. Obviously I did not do that properly, and I need to learn how to properly do that because on both sides some of it got off of the cuffs, and also on the top it's a lot easier to disguise that. You can just put your hair over it. And I mean, I used acrylic paint instead of the actual paint that I was supposed to use, and it was my first time ever trying. I don't think it's that bad. Well, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I guess that's it, because this is the finished piece. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.